Hello there, and welcome back to Tatooine Tableflip. I'm Jimmie, and today I'm going to be looking at a game designed by Matt Lloyd that is currently on Kickstarter called Terminus Breach. Let's get this thing to the table and have a look. Tower defense games. Likely every single one of you has played one at one time or another, so I won't go through what they entail. But there's a fantastic one at Kickstarter right now that I seriously urge you to check out. I've managed to get a hold of a prototype copy, and I am having an absolute blast playing this thing. This is Terminus Breach, and here's how it works. Now, since this is a prototype, I have to point out that this isn't necessarily representative of the final product, but I'm told by Matt that everything is pretty much locked in at this point. You start the game by choosing one of these player sheets. These are representative of the race and class you'll be playing throughout the game, such as Seer of the Wood, the Elven Spiritual Leader, or Thornbark, the Tree Folk Military Leader. Each of these races gives you access to unique abilities and towers for that race, and having such a wide variety of choices allows you to come back to the game time and time again and not necessarily have the same experience twice. This is the game board where you and up to 3 of your friends will create the map using these double-sided modular tiles. This creates a path that the enemy creatures called Draca will follow on their march through Terminus Valley. Peppered throughout the map are going to be these build tiles which dictate where you can build your defensive towers. This, coupled with the varied choice of characters, offers a huge amount of replayability. These are the Draca, the enemy creatures pouring out of the land of Drac on their way to destroy Arcadium. They come in either ground units or flying units, and can share space on the board as long as they're not like units. At the top of the round, each of the units will advance up to their speed, even leapfrogging their compatriots as space allows. Then you roll a die to see how many more will pour into the valley. Any that can't enter the valley are trampled by their compatriots and are thereby discarded. Your job is to pepper the valley path with these defensive towers. Each of these tiles is double-sided and shows your basic tower and all of the upgrade options available to you. You'll spend your gold to build them on each of these build points I mentioned earlier, and to upgrade them you'll need more gold, so you'll need to kill more and more Draca as they march through the valley so you can reap the rewards, thereby pouring your gold back into building new towers or upgrading those already in place. Here's where the fun begins. As the Draca march through the valley, you and your friends will attempt to mow them all down. And mow them all down you must, because every Draca that successfully makes its way through the valley raises the panic in Arcadium by 1. If this panic meter ever reaches 10, the game is over and you and your friends lose. As the game goes on, bigger and stronger Draca will arrive, including some pretty beefy bosses, so strategic placement and upgrading of your towers is key. The game plays over 5 rounds, or battles, and each battle has its own deck of Draca to draw from. The battles are also broken down into waves when you roll to see how many more Draca enter the valley, and every third wave, one of these boss Draca are going to show up. These big, mean nasties have a list of abilities you roll against to see if they go off every round that they're on the board, and these can include healing the Draca around them or making your tower incapable of firing for a whole turn. Shooting Draca with your towers is pretty easy. You can shoot both orthogonally and diagonally, and line of sight is never an issue. You simply follow the stats on your tower as to how far and how many times they can shoot. And damage persists on Draca, allowing you and your friends to gang up on the bigger, beefier Draca should they make it past any of your towers. There are other aspects to the game as well, such as gaining Imperial Favor or Sanction, these cards here, or leveling your character up, which gains you one of these crystals, which brings with it a special ability. In between each of the battles, there's a lull, where you send dead Draca to the graveyard and just generally clean up the game state on the board. I love that the game has these little built-in moments that allow you and your friends to take a deep breath and kind of decompress after the tension of the previous battle. There's something magical about a game that transforms itself into an experience you and your friends will talk about after the game has ended. Terminus Breach takes the tower defense mechanisms and plugs them into a very compelling story while maintaining tight gameplay and meaningful decisions. One of my favorite things about the game is that there's never a moment where you find yourself without something to do. There's a few scenarios in the rulebook, but the modular game board means that you and your friends have complete and total agency over the difficulty level of every game. And the myriad role cards play so differently from each other that you'll find yourself returning time and time again just to try them all out. The game is simply loads of fun to play. That's why Terminus Breach absolutely gets a spot on my game shelf. That's going to do it for this time, you guys. You can find me on all of the socials as Board Gamer Blues. You can also check out my website, boardgamerblues.com, where I have a bunch of other written reviews. And if you like the show, why don't you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any more new episodes. Also, if you'd like to help support the show any more than just watching, then please tell your friends, get them to subscribe as well, and maybe head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Tatooine Tableflip and chuck a little bit of money at us. It goes right back into the show and helps us keep things rolling and keep all these lights on. Thanks for watching, you guys. I will see you next time on Tatooine Tableflip. Bye.